name's Chris. I'm the architect, owner and builder of the Sweetwater House, which is pretty exciting. After living in Brunswick for 20 years, we decided to relocate to meet the needs of our maturing family and have purchased a parcel of land located along the Sweetwater Creek with a vision to build a new home. The Sweetwater Creek corridor has many geological features, including the Grants waterfall and mature native and indigenous landscape. The area also has a fantastic collection of mid-century prototype homes that have been influential to my journey in architecture and to this project. The site is approximately 3/4 of an acre and has a northerly aspect towards the creek. It sits within a privately occupied portion of the Sweetwater Creek corridor and is surrounded by 1- and 2-storey homes, mostly constructed in the 70s and 80s. We purchased the property from a Greek family who had owned it for about 70 years. As there's a beach getaway, and they encourage the community to access the property for recreation. This gesture influenced the siting for our home. The site is flanked by native and non-Indigenous trees. In conjunction with Melbourne Water, we have undertaken and continue to do significant work to rehabilitate the creek. We've also completed a lot of work on the site, removing an old car and swathes of bamboo and other weed species. Latent condition. The building is orientated north, which allows the sun to pour into the living areas and onto the external deck that faces the creek. The site is subject to a BMO overlay, and a BAL 29 rating was determined, which influenced the external materiality selection. It is intended that the form of the home sits unobtrusively into the landscape. The pitch of the roof was defined by the average gradient of the topography, and the vertical position of the house determined by ensuring views to the creek landscape from passers-by could still be enjoyed, continuing the gesture of the previous owner. The layout of the plan is logical. The common living spaces are centralised, the master bedroom, robe, ensuite and study to the west, and the children's bedrooms, bathroom and rumpus to the east. There are two aspects of the home that I'd like to highlight. The layout of the plan has been designed using a 1, 2 and 4 metre grid format. This promotes the use of these spaces in unique ways. The 1 metre grid provides space for quiet time, reading a book or checking your WhatsApp. The 2 metre grid promotes conversation, more often than not a drink. And the 4 metre is a place to snooze, in most cases following the occupation of the 2 metre grid. The second aspect is the capacity for multi-generational living. We have 2 teenagers, and based on current trends, we expect them to continue to live with us past secondary school. It is also expected that we will become jaded and intolerant of them. So therefore, with the insertion of a door into a corridor and the inclusion of 2 entry points at the front of the home, we will hopefully provide a solution for a peaceful multi-generational living environment. Back here. Adversity. Adversity inspires creativity. This project was conceived during COVID-19 and was subject to 4 lockdown periods. It was also subject to extraordinary financial pressure, with material costs escalating beyond precedent, not to mention rising interest rates. However, the greatest pressure on the project was an industry-wide shortage of building materials, particularly timber framing, which became non-existent, and labour was also impossible to pin down. As we committed our move, we needed to think quick. Fortunately, I was working as project director on the T3 project in Collingwood, which some of you may be familiar with. This provided me with a much needed experience in mass timber and a good access to the supply chain, which fundamentally changed the direction of the project. So I rolled up my sleeves and started panelising the design for CLT I had been finessing for over 12 months. Working with the ex-SLAM engineers, that quickly turned into a set of shop drawings ready for manufacture. To complement the aesthetic of the mass timber, I developed a palette of materials that was honest, contextually responsive and robust, noting the 4 greens that were selected for the joinery, referencing the native flora of the Sweetwater Creek landscape. The project punches above its weight in terms of sustainability. Beyond the significant efforts of site rehabilitation, the home achieves an 8-star energy rating, generates more power than it consumes from the PV array. Rainwater is used for toilets and irrigation, and openable windows in all elevations allow for passive cross-ventilation. The volume of timber used in the project sequesters nearly 50 tonnes of carbon, However, once all transport and manufacturing energy is taken into consideration, it is reduced to 32 tonnes, which is the equivalent to taking a car off the road for 7 years. Also worth noting, based on the annual growth of softwood in Australia, the volume of timber used in this house can be regrown in 3 minutes and 20 seconds. The house is fully electric. To date, the 8 kilowatt PV Enfo system has produced 6 megawatt hours of energy with a net export of 2.3 megawatt hours. The PV system supplies power to the hot water and central HVAC system, and ceiling fans are installed in the bedrooms. So once I get the battery on, I'll be fully off-grid. Construction in 2022, the site was cleared, benched and commenced construction. In no time, we laid the slab and installed the steel angles to secure the CLT panels. Simultaneously, the panels were being manufactured in Albury in preparation for delivery. Somewhat excited about this whole thing coming together, I decided to drive up the freeway and meet the first delivery and escort it home. I've got to power through this. 2 cranes were set up on site, ready to take delivery and commence erection. And in 2.5 days, we completed the entire primary structure. So it was over to me to complete the rest, rigid insulation across the whole building, then obviously all the other work we required to get to lock up. But 2 months later, we hit lock up and ready for wall cladding, roofing, and joinery and fit off. So 6 months total construction phase, 266 square metres of GFA, all under $800,000, which is just under $3,000 a square metre. Good going. Nope. So this is the finished home. As you can see through those clerestory windows through to the landscape on the northern side. An aerial view. Another aerial view looking back towards the creek. See how the house sort of immerses itself into the landscape. Joinery is really simple, box joinery, laminate, and $2 door handles from Hafley, which is great. Integrated LED strip lights into the CLT, so that was all milled in, routed in at the CNC plant. Just looking outside here, that's the northern elevation. Just the other way. And so we've obviously moved in. Fortunate to have the JCB Christmas party at the house this year, which was great. It's been amazing seeing the kids sort of immerse themselves into a new environment, and all the kids that often come past the house and collect my son and my daughter to go to school. So it's a really nice artefact. And I'm a Christmas light tragic, so this is a pretty exciting year for me. So all powered by the sun. Thank you very much.